Welcome, family, to Kingdom Academy Podcast, a community of like-minded daughters of the King who love the Lord, abide by His word, and submit to kingdom help that is healing, equipping, launching, and prospering in business and ministry. Get cozied up with your favorite drink because I'm about to tell you a story. This story is all about leaving the rat race. Are you ready? Let's dive in. The way of the rat race is this. You follow the crumb. Your mind tells you, oh, I can handle that crumb. Ooh, there's another one and another one. But where are you going? You're just surviving one crumb after the other. You want out of the rat race, yet, ooh, there's another crumb. And you need that crumb. Why? Because you're hungry. You have bills to pay. And an emergency dental issue has just popped up. So yes, another crumb, please. This is the cycle of the rat race. And this is why so many never leave it. How do you escape this vicious cycle? You have to understand that the wealth spa track is not connected to the rat race at all. To reach it, you have to make a leap. But when you glance over at the wealth track, it looks expensive. You can't afford more expenses. Your crumbs are barely getting you by. And besides, you have your own 5-figure, 6-figure business, and you convince yourself that you'll be off this rat race soon enough, even though you've said that for the past 5 or 6 years. You glance at the wealth track. You can see those on it. They're resting. Income is pouring in. It's like wealth is raining down on them over there. You take another nibble of your crumb and consider the leap. But what if I don't make it? Where will you end up? Back in the rat race? You shrug. I guess I already know this way, you say to yourself, but it does look so good over there. Then you notice someone standing on the edge of the rat race. Are they considering the leap? You hurry over to find out. What are you doing? You call out. You notice a few crumbs are scattered around their feet, and suddenly you get excited and distracted. And you start gathering the crumb. That's when you realize you missed it. You glance over at the wealth track and you see that they have made the leap. You missed it. You wanted to see how did they do it, but you got so distracted with the crumbs you didn't see. You wonder, will they be back? Probably. But every day you go back and peek over at the other track and you see them. They're making it because they took the leap. They left behind their crumbs, the ones you're now nibbling up. And now they live at the next level of plenty. Should you jump? What is it that you really want? Comfort? Success? Can you have the two at once? Are you willing to take the leap that will get you there? That's the question. You can contemplate it every day. You can wait for the perfect time that will never come. But that is not going to get you over to that wealth track. You have to make the leap. So what is the leap? The leap is leaving behind what is comfortable to step into the next level of new. Naturally, it's a bit scary, depending on how long you've been sitting in your area of comfortable familiarity. Suddenly, while you're thinking all these things, someone drops from the sky and falls hard on the rat race track before you. It's not the one you saw the other day who took the leap, but it's someone else. You hurry over. What happened? Where did you come from? They point to the wealth track. From there. But why, you ask? They rub all their bruises from the fall and complain. It's a lot of work. Sure, wealth is raining down on them, but they had to focus and work on specific things so that it would happen that way for them. It was too much for my brain to handle. I missed gathering the crumbs, so I started gathering crumbs over there. But suddenly, I became very alone, and darkness began to gather around me. And, well, then suddenly I was falling, and I fell back here. He shrugs, and his eyes widen with glee. You follow his to see the crumbs that he's racing toward, devouring them in desperation. A sick feeling settles in your stomach. Suddenly you realize you don't want to live like this anymore. You don't want to live off the crumbs. You chase after the guy who returned, calling out to him, "What did you do to make the leap? How did you do it?" He rolls his eyes at you. You gotta talk to the game changers. Who are they? They live on the other side of the rat race, on the wealth track, but they have made ways for you to access them, and they will talk to you if you make the time and step close enough to hear them. You have to really focus to hear them because they shout. But if you listen, suddenly, whoosh, you're leaping. And then you're on the wealth track. That's it? Well, there's a price to pay. What's the price? The other guy holds up a couple of crumbs, scrunching up his face. You gotta give up the crumbs. The moral of the story is overcoming the objection of maybe later or it's too expensive. It is crucial for us to escape the rat race. Even if we're in a 5 to 6 figure income, we can still be locked in on the rat race if we give up the mindset of constant growth. We have to be willing to continually shift, pivot, plan, and activate. This is what the Wealth Spa track is all about. It's the place where you're continually shifting, pivoting, planning, and activating on a constant basis because this is how we continually grow. The minute we're comfortable, we should know this is the time to start shifting, pivoting, planning, and activating so that we can go to the next level. But oftentimes we get comfortable because we worked so hard to get to this certain level and we get comfortable there. And so we sit there and we become stagnant there. And before we know it, we're not on the wealth track anymore. We're stuck again in this place that's like the rat race. And so the reason I shared this story was to encourage you to get out of the cycle of being content with crumbs, with what's familiar, with what's comfortable, because this will never lead to true freedom or abundance. And I'm not even just talking about financially. I'm talking about in every aspect. It's interesting because the Bible says that we will prosper as our soul prospers. What is our soul? Our thoughts, our will, and our emotion. If our thoughts, our will, and our emotion are content with doing nothing and not having growth in our lives, then eventually, sitting still in that comfort for so long, we become stagnant. And in that stagnation, we get this desire and urge to change, but we also have made such terrible habits of comfort that it's really hard to make the shift and then the pivot. So we need to wake up. We need to see what this little rat on the track saw when he saw that this other one came back from the wealth track because he was not willing to put in the next level of shifting, pivoting, planning, and activating. And this is what we need to get to that next level. And then yes, we can flow in what is on that next level of success, of growth, and of wealth. But first, we have to get to that next level. And there's always a leap to get to the next level. So the real cost isn't in the leap. It's clinging to the crumbs that are keeping you from thriving. Only by letting go of the crumbs can we reach the wealth, the opportunity, and the cash flow waiting on the other side. If you're ready to take a leap, then I would love to have a conversation with you. I have a couple programs that can really help you shift, pivot, plan, and activate into the next level of scaling your business. Welcome, family, to Kingdom Academy Podcast, a community of like-minded daughters of the King who love the Lord, abide by His word, and submit to kingdom help. That is healing, equipping, launching, and prospering in business and ministry.